Hi, mathletes. In this video lesson, you will be writing equations in point-slope form. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to write the equation of a line given any 2 points. When asked to write an equation in point-slope form, you will need to find a point on a line that can be any point and the slope of the line. And to remind us, we are using usually the modified point-slope form. Y equals the slope, x minus the x value plus the y value of that ordered pair. So for this first example, write the equation in point-slope form of the line through these 2 points, -2, 22, and 6, -2. So you're going to find the slope, and you're going to pick a point. That point that you pick can be either point. We've been kind of doing the first point just to keep it consistent and simple. So if I'm putting that point in, that I'm going to subtract -2 for my x and add 22 for my y. If I'm rewriting this, it's going to be x. If you're subtracting a negative, that's the same thing as adding, and I still have my plus 22. That doesn't change the sign. Remember, you want this to be the opposite of the sign because of this built-in negative right here. And now we need to find the slope. So when we're looking at finding the slope, we have -2 and 22 and 6 and -2. My change in y, if I'm going from 22 to -2, that is a decrease of 24. And if I'm going from -2 to +6, that's increasing, and that's increasing by 8. So then my rate of change is the change in y over the change in x, which would be -24 over 8, or -3. And we'd plug that into our equation right there. So our final answer would be y equals -3 times the quantity x plus 2, and then plus 22. Now, of course, we could use the other point. You don't have to do both, but just to show you, y equals -3, x minus 6, and then minus 2, because it'd be plus a -2. So again, we're going to write the equation in point-slope form of a line through the points 0, 3, and 2, 2. We can choose either one of these points. We've been typically choosing the first one, and then we need to find the slope. So to find the slope, I'm going to do it using the x1, y1 formula just to show an example of that. So if you think of it like this, our formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So in this case, it is going to be 2 minus 3 divided by 2 minus 0. That's going to give us -1 over 2 for our slope. And we're going to plug that in there. We have y equals -2, and then, -1/2, and then x minus 0 plus 3 would be using that first point there. Of course, this simplifies, and you might recognize this as your y-intercept. And you could simplify this because what is x minus 0? That's just x. So we could simplify this very easily to slope-intercept form. Even though this question is asking for this form, you can see that you get both of those easily. Final example, write an equation in point-slope form of the line through the points -6, 3 and 1, 4. So again, we're going to look at choosing a point on the line. We can choose either of these. We've been taking that first point, and then finding the slope. We need both points to find the slope. To remember, you can find the slope by using the slope formula or finding the rate of change between the values here, the change in y and change in x. So from 3 to 4 is increasing by 1. From -6 to +1 is increasing by 7. So our slope here is the change in y over the change in x, which would be 1 over 7. So we'll put that in for our slope. We have y equals x minus Now we're putting in a -6, so x minus a -6 is x plus 6, and then we have plus 3 for the y value.